it's Charlie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Basically my YouTube channel is going to be fitness, yoga, probably a bit of dance, a bit of bar work, and then we'll have a bit of flexibility as well, so maybe some stretch sequences. Basically it's just going to be fitness based. Make sure you subscribe, give it a like, thank you very much. We are just going to do a couple of shoulder rolls. This will just loosen up the shoulders. Then on the inhale, you are going to bring your arms in a circular motion, and on the exhale, release your arms downward back to your side. Again, in the inhale, we bring our arms up. This time, in the exhale, we extend forwards. We then hold that pose there for roughly 20 to 30 seconds. And as you go from your arms above your head, try not to just think about going straight down. Try and think of going forward and down. And this will then extend your back longer and also improve your flexibility eventually. Here, if you're feeling like this stretch is a bit easy, then I would advise wrapping your arms around the back of your knees. You can give them a proper hug, or you can do what I've done and just hold them there. If it is easier, you may put your hands on your floor to keep your balance. Here I've just lifted my toes up just for a bit of an extra hamstring stretch. Here again, we work on our breathing. We bring it up for inhale and we bring it down for exhale. Holding it for 20 to 30 seconds again. You can see each time I'm going down, my stretch is getting deeper, okay? So that is what we're aiming for. We're aiming for every time we go down, throughout this whole workout, that we are extending our flexibility and we are getting deeper with our flexibility every time. Bending the knees to roll back up. And another couple of shoulder rolls. That's just for a little thing I do. We are then going to step forward on our left leg into warrior 3 pose. We need to make sure that we have a long line from the bottom of our toe all the way to our fingertips spreading outwards. In this pose, make sure you are always extending your arms and your legs to get the full range of your flexibility and your ability within this pose. Make sure throughout all these poses you are still breathing. This is something I'm not the best at, which I need to get better at, but make sure you are breathing all the way through. Do not hold your breath. Try and ensure that your hips, your back and your neck are all in line. Okay, remember extending your fingertips right out and extending your toes out the other side. We then drop our hands onto the floor and we are going to try and go into half moon pose. You're going to lift your right arm up, opening your chest, opening your stomach, opening everything, all up to the front. Your fingers should be extending through the ceiling. Try and push them as high as you can, making sure your legs are still straight. If you can, try and push up as far as you can, because the idea in this pose is that your leg and your back is still in line, just like warrior 3. I know mine is not quite there. We are then going to come down softly and roll the back up. From here, remember we need to do everything on both sides, so we are going to step out on our right foot. We are going to lift our left leg up behind us, keeping it really straight, trying to keep your supporting leg straight, your fingers out in front of you. Oh, sorry about this loss of focus here, my bad. Pushing all the energy through your fingertips, through your toes. Then we are going to put our hands down on the floor and lift our left arm up. Oh, that's a bit of a fall, isn't it? Remember, we are opening up the chest, we're opening the back, we're opening the spine. You want everything open. And then we come down softly and roll up. From here, we are going to go to our tree pose. So in our tree pose, start standing with your feet together. Then you are going to bring your right leg up to your left leg. It doesn't matter if it's by your ankle, if it's by your calf, if it's by your knee, it does not matter. I bring my arms out into the circle and up over the top. We are bringing our arms back down into a nice peaceful pose. We're going to hold this for 20 to 30 seconds. And then we are bringing our leg down. So once you are back in neutral, you are going to take your leg left up. Again, I don't mind if it's the ankle, if it's the knee, if it's the calf, or if it's where mine is. Oh, nice little knee click there. We are now coming into bound eagle. Bound eagle is one of my favourite poses. It's a great hip opener. You are going to connect both of the bottoms of your feet together so you create a diamond shape with your legs. If you've got really open hips, you might be able to get your knees onto the floor at this point. Clearly I cannot do that just yet. My box split is not as good as my front split. You are then going to take a deep breath in, inhale in and exhale over your legs. You are now in a forward fold. Try and keep your shoulders downwards, and also try and keep your back as straight as you can. I know here mine's quite rounded, I do apologise. But if you can keep it really straight, try and keep it really straight. You are trying to get your forehead down to your ankle, middle of your foot ankle. And hold it for 20 to 30 seconds again. We are then going to push the legs out in front of us, and we are going to come into a seated forward fold. I do apologise for the lack of focus again, but you do see me just flop over my legs. Flopping over your legs is not going to help. Instead of thinking downwards, always think forward and down. If it's easier, bring your arms up above your head and take your arms down to the bottom of your feet. This is how I find teaching wise is the best way to understand forward and down as opposed to just downwards. Again, we're going to hold this for 20 to 30 seconds. So every yoga pose should really be held for about 20 to 30 seconds to ensure you're getting the most you can out of that pose. And then after that time, chances are you'll be able to deepen it. And we're coming back up. We are now going into tabletop position. Please ensure in this position that your shoulder is in line with your wrists. Make sure your shoulders are back, but make sure they're in line with your wrists. Then make sure your hips and your knees are in line. And in our inhale, we are going to round our back upwards. And as we exhale, we are going to push our back down to create an arch where your head should be looking up towards the wall / ceiling. We're going to do this about probably 4 or 5 times. Quite like this pose, it's quite a nice one. This is a very, very popular pose in yoga. You will see this one a lot. Remember to keep breathing. Okay, from here we are then going to push our hips backwards into a child's pose. So when you're pushing your hips backwards so they are on your legs, and you are pushing your arms out in front of you, straight out in front of you, so your arms should be in line with your shoulders. If you have tight shoulders like I used to, this pose might hurt. I could never used to be able to do this pose because it would always put my shoulders into cramp. If you would like, you can have your hips and your torso directly over your knees, so this would be in a parallel position. Or if you would like, you can open your legs up so your torso goes through the middle. From here, we are just going to sit up and we are going to come back. On to our next pose, which is legs on the wall pose. So what we're doing is we're pushing our bums right up against the wall. From here, you are then going to lift your legs just above your torso, above your heart, and you are just going to relax here. Okay, from here we are going to go into our corpse pose. Corpse pose in general chat is just lying down. From here you are going to take you're going to put your elbows on the outside of your body, and you are going to push off of your elbows and try and push your upper back and your chest upwards. Okay, so we shouldn't see your hips off the floor, but I should see your back off the floor. You've got a nice heart opener. You are pushing your elbows into the floor as much as you can, pushing your shoulders and your chest upwards. Again, you are going to hold this for about 20 seconds, at least 30 seconds if you would like. We're going to come back into the corpse pose. This is just for a little bit of relaxation. We are going to take our camel pose. So we are going to start this pose in tabletop. You are going to bring your hands upwards, so you are in a kneeling position upwards. I don't mind where you put your hands, so some people prefer to put them on your back, on your lower back, which is what I'm doing right now. But if you feel like your back's okay, you feel like you could do this pose, you feel like you've got a bit more flexibility, you can do what I then do here, which is then putting my hands, my palms on around my ankles. From here, you are then just going to release your back, release your neck, release your head, and just let it go behind you. Make sure when you are here that you are not holding any tension in your neck. From here, we are just going to come up, and I've just gone back into child's pose because I feel like it's a nice relaxing way to end my flow. And we are going to hold this for about 20 seconds. Now, the next bit, some of you might not feel comfortable doing. Not all of you have to progress to this part. Here, we are going to go into a headstand. We're going to go into a tripod. Now, when we go into our tripod, I'm just going to go over the safety aspects of this, just to ensure if you haven't done it, then you are doing it properly and safely. So, from here, we are going to make a triangle of where your hands are to where your head is. So if you put your hands down on your mat, make sure your hands are in line with each other, and your elbows are also in line with your wrists. So you want to put your head at the point of your triangle. You're going to walk your legs in, lifting your hips every time. So the reason we do this is to lift our hips to the point of where our central balance is. Bring your legs up and you should be able to hold your headstand. Now, the many different leg poses I'm doing here, you do not have to follow. Good luck, everybody. So thanks guys, I hope you enjoyed the sequence we did. Also make sure you give the video a like and a subscription, literally please, and then also please subscribe as well. Thank you, see you next week, bye.